This is the training session for vWriter, so welcome along. This is exciting stuff. So we're going to be doing the training sessions once a week. We'll probably do them at around the same time each week. The idea is for them also to be interactive. So if you have any questions you can ask, please feel free to shout. On the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a little chat area if you've not used GoToWebinar before. If you can just type in your question into there, and I will see it on my screen here. I'm hoping you can see my screen. If you would just like to say sort of hi in the box or something like that, just to confirm you can see the screen that I've got here. And we will be running for about an hour or so, and then I have other commitments, so it will run for just an hour. But that should be plenty to go through what we need to go through. You'll also see at the top of the screen that there's a slightly different URL or slightly different link to what you're used to. So that's just for the demo session. So please don't try and go to that different link. It won't work for you at all. So let's crack on and get started. In this week's session, I'm going to introduce you quickly to the Quick Start guide, if you've not had a look at that yet. I will show you how to enter a project into the system and talk a little bit about how they work. We're going to be looking at connecting social profiles and also publishing time windows, which are quite powerful controls. We will add a couple of different sources for content and also set up a couple of social publishing channels. So it will be a fairly good overview of certain aspects of the system, and in other weeks we will cover other areas of what you can do with vWriter. So let's have a look first of all at the Quick Start guide, which you can access from the homepage if you just click the Quick Start guide link there. And it will basically just talk you through various aspects of the system. If you haven't had a look yet, please do so. What you can do is, as you complete a particular section, is just mark it complete with the link, and when you return to the page, you might just want to go through the first few sections on the first time that you appear on this page. When you return to this page at some point later, it will then automatically open where you got to. So you can just carry on from where you reached to before, as you should be able to see on the screen there. So that's pretty much it for the Quick Start guide, but please take some time just to go through that. It really gives you a really good overview of how the whole system works. Back on the home page as well, it's a good idea to click the Take the Tour button, and we have these links, the Take the Tour link. If you click those links on various pages around the website, it does give you a good overview of what's available on the page and some initial help information. So first of all, we're going to add a project, and to do that you can either go up here from the projects menu, click new project, or you can do so from the drop-down project list. Well, once you've added one or more projects, you'll see them appear in that drop-down at the top of the screen. So I will just click the link there to add a new project. As it says on the page, projects allow you to group certain elements of the system together, like content, channels, your social profiles, content sources, and so on. And that allows you to manage the system more easily if, for example, you have different websites or different niches that you want to work with. And if you are adding in team members, so people who work for you, into your account as separate users for your account, you can limit their access to certain projects. So you might only want them to see certain social profiles or certain niches within your account, and projects are a good way to do that. So I'm just going to enter in a demo. You can see I've already been through this once before. So just enter in a demo project name. You can enter in a description there as well, just for your own reference. I'm going to leave that blank at the moment. So I'll just enter that into the system, and you can see that it appears at the top of the screen there. In terms of entering profiles, I've already got one entered into the system there. I will quickly show you if you do want to disconnect them at any time, to remove them from your account. You can just click through and click disconnect. So I'll just start with a blank slate with that. Add it back in again. So I'll just show you what I did there. You can either add a profile from, if you hover over the link on the left-hand side, there's a little plus icon that appears. That allows you to add a profile at any time. And from the profiles page itself, which you can access via the left-hand menu again, or from the top menu there, Channels Profiles, you can add profiles as well by clicking the Add button at the top there. So if I'll just do that again. It adds in the same profile again and basically just confirms I already have it, so nothing's changed there. I will now add in a Facebook page. So connect to Facebook page. Exactly the same process. I'm on Facebook there, and I will just click the Connect to Page button. Select which page you want to manage. It basically retrieves that from your Facebook account. I will select the vWriter.com account, and you can see it instantly loads it onto the page and pulls back your icon for that page as well. And let's add a Twitter account too. But by the way, if you're not already logged into these accounts, it will prompt you to log in. I'm already logged into Facebook in my Firefox web browser, so it doesn't need to ask me to log in again. So I'm also logged into Twitter. So if I just select the Twitter, click Connect, it will then open up a window. I'm already logged into Twitter, so very quickly, it literally takes just a couple of seconds to add in each profile. Slightly longer if you do need to log in, but most people tend to be logged into their social accounts anyway. So literally in about sort of 10 seconds, you can add, three or more profiles there, like I've done there. Let's have a look now at the publishing time windows. But by the way, when I'm going through this, if anything's not clear, or you do have any questions, feel free just to enter it into the box on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll see some text like enter a question for staff, and just kind of overtype that and send it through. So let's have a look at publishing time windows. These basically define when your social posts are going to go out to your network, so that there might be certain times of the day or even certain days of the week that you notice are more active for your audience. So the people in your social network, they're more, they might be more likely to be online, they might be more likely to respond, and so on. So it means you can restrict when you send out posts to certain time windows in the day, certain days of the week. That really applies for when social posts are created automatically through publishing channels, which we'll have a look at soon. If you do want to have a post that goes out at a specific time, you can set that by adding a post manually and setting the time manually, and that won't adjust for your time windows. It will stay as you have set them. What the system does also is, if you have a number of posts going out within your time windows, it will space them out automatically within those time windows, so you don't end up with lots of posts going out all at once. And by spacing them out, it really gives a lot more chance for people to see your posts. If they're going to see sort of 3 or 4 at once, they'll probably only just see the one and ignore the others. Whereas if you spread them out a bit, it tends to get more engagement and more visibility. So the system takes care of all of that for you. Let's add in our publishing time window. So you'll see these kind of plus icons around the site, and it usually means to kind of add something in, or it always means to add something in. So I will add it in there. Let's just say that my audience are more active between 1800 hours and let's say 2100 hours. But by the way, these times are all in your local time zone, so it depends what time zone you're in yourself. I will add that into the system, and you can see it automatically loads there at the bottom. If you ever want to remove a time window, you can just hover over the time window, and there's a little cross icon that appears there. Click that, and it automatically disappears. These also automatically kind of save into the system as you do them, so there's no need to press the update button there at all for the publishing time windows. Once they're showing, they're kind of active. So I'll just add that in again now that we've deleted it. By the way, welcome to anyone who's coming a few minutes after we've started. Hopefully you can follow along with what we're doing. Feel free to enter in a question at any time, or just to kind of say hi in the question box there. There might not be any questions, but it's just an open invitation in case there are. So I've entered in the first time window for Monday. You don't have to do the same thing for every single day. It gets simpler. I can just say I want Tuesday to be the same as Monday. Click go, and it automatically loads it in. I might want a particular day. Let's, just for an example, say that on Wednesday, I also want to put in a morning time as well. These are all completely fictional times, so it's just to show you an example of what you can do with the system. So I will add in 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning with that. And then I want to kind of add in what we've had before. So I want to add the times we've had before from Monday. And that will just add it in automatically there. Let's make Thursday the same as Wednesday, just for the purposes of showing the example here. And I will add, let's add a afternoon time on Friday, so 12 till, let's say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so 1500 hours. And then I want to add in the times from, let's say, Thursday. So if I selected the make same as Monday, it would basically remove the time I've just entered, and we would only have 1800 hours to 21. But I want to add in the times that we've got for Thursday on top. So I will add those in, and you can see how that builds up. I will leave the, well, I'll tell you what, let's, because weekends do tend to be active as well. So let's just add in a couple of times for the weekend as well. Let's say 1700 hours to 1900 hours, so 7 o'clock in the evening for Saturday. And I'll make Sunday the same as Saturday. And that's basically our publishing time window set up for the Twitter profile we have here. And now what you can do is you don't have to go through that for each individual profile. If they're all basically the same, I will enter in similar for the vWriter Facebook. And what you can do here, once you've entered some publishing time windows for one profile, you can then easily copy them across. And this literally takes seconds. So I just copy them straight across from the Twitter profile we entered in. So it's really, really quick to enter them in and just to copy them across different profiles. It's likely, for example, that if you have Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on for a particular website or project, that your times are going to be very similar too. So you can just move them across in the way that I've shown you there. So let's go to add in a new publishing channel. So we've got profiles, we've got our publishing time windows all set. And to add a publishing channel, you can do that either by using the link at the very top of the left-hand menu. But by the way, this left-hand menu is draggable around the screen if you want to kind of move it anywhere. Just click down, hold with the mouse and drag it around. You might not need to do that at all, but just another thing you can use. So you can add a channel there. You can, just as we saw with profiles, a little plus icon appears when you hover over channels. And also at the top menu, channels, new publishing channel. So I'll just click that from the top menu. And you can see we've got our project that we've entered in already. That's preloaded onto the screen. The source defines the content, where the content comes from that feeds into the publishing channel and feeds the rest of the process, really. By the way, each of these fields, there is a separate help information available. So you can just click the help icon, and that contains as much information as is necessary to kind of more fully explain what that field is and what it does. So feel free just to click around on those links within your own account. For the source, we're just going to click the link there to add a new source. We could add a new project, for example, on this page as well, if you have, realize that you have a need for a new project. Well, we won't do that here because we've already added in our example project. If you did do that, it would just load it into the system and then preload it here for you into the drop-down box. You'll see how that works with adding a source. So we will add a new source. In this context, a source really means the RSS feed for a website. So you might happen to know the exact link of that feed. So quite often it's like an RSS feed or an XML feed or something similar. We don't know, for this example, I don't know what that link will be. So I'm going to click Find RSS Feed. I'm going to use vWriter's blog for the feed. So I'm going to enter in just the web address for the blog. Click Find, and it will then go away, all being well, and find the feeds on the blog, which it has done. So with most WordPress blogs, there are two different feeds. One feed contains all the comments that have come through for your blog. That's not what we want here. We want the main feed, which is basically your posts and so on for your blog. So we will select that one there, and that comes through there. So that's actually the link for the feed. It just confirms the name of the feed or the title of your blog, and we can just click Submit there. It will automatically preload it into the source field. I'll just show you how you can add another one as well. In case you don't have a blog yet, I'll certainly recommend that you get one as soon as you can. And there is help information. Let me just show you on the home page. If you go through to Business Success Building Blocks, it goes through a really quick kind of process for adding a blog or creating your own blog. It doesn't have to be complex at all to get one. So let's go back to our channel. So just in case you don't have a blog at this stage, there's another thing you can do as well. Add a new source, and we can add a bulk data feed. And a bulk data feed really means that you are entering in your own data into the system. So you're uploading your own data and essentially creating a feed or a kind of regularly published piece of content, or set of content rather, that publishes on a frequency of your choosing. So I'll show you how that works. For this example, I'm going to use motivational quotes. So I've got some motivational quotes I'm going to be uploading. You can enter in a description if you would like to. I'm going to leave that blank. Let's tell it to publish every 3 days. So it's just as if really your blog published every 3 days and it published a motivational quote every 3 days. This is kind of the same thing if that were to happen. So publish once every 3 days. I'm not going to put it in a project, but you can do if you only wanted, for example, if you had team members and you only wanted them to see this data feed if they had access to a certain project. I'm not going to tick that at the moment. Just click Submit. It just helps you to organize your account if you do want to do that. So I've now created the bulk data feed, and I can now upload some data, which I will do by clicking the Add New Data button at the bottom. I can either enter in data individually. I can enter in some text for the summary, a link which can then be published with, for example, a social post. And you can even enter in a link to an image. You might have images online that you want to add in as well and to have shown in the posts that then go out. The easiest way, I think, to do it is probably to upload a CSV file, and you can easily create CSV files from spreadsheet applications like Microsoft Excel or the spreadsheet within Google Drive if you use it online, as I do. The CSV file that you upload should contain 3 different items of comma-separated data. So it starts off with, let's have a look at the example here. We'll start off with some summary text, so whatever you would like to put there. A link to a website that you want to link to, and thirdly, a link to an image if you would like to include an image. The first one you need to include, so you do need to include the text, and the link and the image link are both completely optional, so it's up to you whether or not you choose to include those in your data. Let's just click Browse, and I will show you. I will try to retrieve the motivational, all being well, motivational quotes file. So file name contains motivational quotes, and hopefully that's the correct file. And you can see it loaded. Well, you probably didn't see that Explorer screen I brought up, but you can see it there. And that's the one I'm loading in. So I'll click Submit there. And after clicking Submit, it then goes away and basically loads all the data into your feed for you. So the feed will now cycle through all these quotes as if it was a feed. It says one row in the file had data that was too long, so it kind of validates what you enter in as well. And if I go back to the publishing channel, let's just reload this page. I've now entered in that bulk data feed. And we should now see it in the drop down. So I can now select either of those feeds that I've entered. You'll see it says it's paused. That's because the feed will not start publishing until you tell it to, basically. So what I can do is go to my list of sources. I've now entered 2. You can see this one is listed as a BDF or a bulk data feed. It's pending activation, and I can just click the play icon there to get it started. It's now active, so it's all going. You can see also the feed for the blog is showing as pending. That's fine. That's just because it hasn't noticed anything new being published between now and when I kind of entered it into the system. So as soon as the first post is published to that blog, it will then become active in the same way it would have picked up something coming through. So this one is now active. Let's just check the settings for the feed. So view source settings, publishing once every 3 days, as we said. So if we reload this page again now, we shouldn't see the paused text. Yep, it's just showing us motivational quotes. So let's add in our first publishing channel. This week we're going to look at the social profiles publishing channels. In other weeks we'll look at blog publishing channels and article site publishing channels and so on. But we're going to concentrate on this one for this week. So we're selecting the blog, the source from the blog. We're going to add in a couple of profiles for it. So to add a profile, you can either click here and select them from the drop down, or you can also just drag them across from the left-hand menu. So I'm just going to drag, say, the Twitter one and just drop it on there, and it will automatically preload it in. So I'm going to have the Twitter, and let's drag across the Facebook as well. So you can see they're automatically added in there. I could add another one as well. I'm just going to keep it to those 2. It also shows a description field where you can enter in some instructions or notes to a writer if you want a writer to create content for you. If you don't want that to happen, you can simply turn it off at the bottom. Unclick the custom write content link, and I'm going to click, you do have to select kind of auto create or custom write content, otherwise nothing will appear. So I'm going to select the auto create content option. Any links that come through can be automatically shortened through a service called Bitly. And what that does for you, that really means that apart from the link itself being shortened, you can use Bitly to track click-throughs and to see kind of engagement on your content over time for certain links. So I'm going to add a link shortener here. You can also do it, by the way, through the link shortening services on the menu at the top. But I'm going to just add it in here. Select Bitly from here. There may be other services we add in future, but just select Bitly. Click sign in with Bitly.